sons. Tonight, you have learned the final and greatest truth of the ninja. That ultimate mastery comes not of the body, but of the mind.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. And right here on the channel, we've been covering the details of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. I still think issue number 1 was the best comic issue of all of 2020. I'm going to have my final list out sometime this month. We're obviously waiting on standby for issue number 2. It was delayed. And I believe, once they did the second printing, they ended up shipping like 180,000 issues of number 1. So it's been a huge success, a lot of interest in this series. And we have new details that they are working on some ideas for R-rated sequels and prequels for the story from Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, who obviously had taken a previously kind of shelved idea that Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman had worked on 30 years prior. Punch it up, and we've got the new series coming out. And here to talk with me about that is my good friend, the man with the most fatal takes on all the interwebs. Fatal J, how you doing?
Doing good. A fatality. And I just want to say this is very excellent. I want to see more of spoilers. Michelangelo being this Last Ronin. I want to see sequels. I want to see violence, and seeing that this potentially could be R-rated. We seeing more content that's R-rated. Sign me the freak up, sir. Sign me up.
Don't you want to read this with your kids? What are you, a barbarian?
Man, no. You keep that little Nickelodeon stuff to the side and give me this turtle right here. This turtle who's been through it, whose brothers are dead, whose master is dead, father figure is dead. I want to see this turtle.
So you long for the days of Mirage TMNT and maybe
yes, the freaking original Turtles. Yes, that's what I want.
I bet you were hooked to the comics through the cartoon like everybody else, though.
And let me tell you something, Wes. I will sell my own body to the streets for a number 1 issue of that first Mirage Ninja Turtles comic book. Yes, I will.
Can I get like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1? I'll suck you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's get into this. Is ridiculous already. Before we get into the details, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, give us a thumbs down if you don't. Either way, we want to hear your thoughts on R-rated sequels and prequels to The Last Ronin. And what do you think about it being delayed right now? This thing is already going off the rails, folks. If you want me to kick Fatal J to the curb, just let me know. I'm ready, willing, and able, but y'all seem to enjoy his coming on the channel. I don't get it.
Because they got good taste. They got good taste, sir.
I'm not going to say anything bad about my viewers, but I have no problems talking crap on the guests. You know what I'm saying?
You asked me what do I think about the delays?
Let's get into some of these details. We've got some quotes from the creative team. Obviously, Tom Waltz is the co-writer of TMNT with Kevin Eastman. It is Sophie Campbell now, but he was the one doing it before, and obviously he's scripted with Kevin Eastman, The Last Ronin. He said, "Not gonna lie, Kevin and I are already talking about this very thing. Speaking of sequels, it's like 2011 all over again. We started a new TMNT universe, and we're psyched up, motivated, itching to do more given the chance." Later on, he said, "Like Frank Miller in The Dark Knight Returns, we hope The Last Ronin is an evergreen TMNT tale that fans will read forever as a cherished standalone tome. But I've also let IDW and Nickelodeon know that Kevin and I have sequels and prequels, including a new origin tale bouncing around in our skulls. We'll just have to wait and see if there's a demand from readers and retailers for expanding this universe once The Last Ronin is all said and done. For now, I just want to sincerely thank everyone who jumped on board so far. From the bottom of our hearts, you rock." Now, there's certainly more than enough demand from retailers and readers for more of The Last Ronin.
Yes, it is. And I feel like with these delays, that's part of marketing. They're trying to create a big demand. They do it all the time.
They changed artists and they thought they would hit their dates, and they're having to. They'd already solicited. You don't want to do stuff like that because retailers have already paid for it.
You got 5 people working on the freaking comic. 5. Okay. You got 3 writers. You got 1 artist.
Well,
and he probably getting help too.
It's 2 artists. It's brothers.
That's what I'm saying. So you just 6 people working on the comic. What is slowing this thing down?
4 people working on the comic. Kevin Eastman, As Waltz, and the Escorza brothers.
Oh, so Peter Laird ain't a part of this?
No, his name's attached to it because obviously he co-created the idea, but he's no longer like associated. He's not helping write this.
Oh, gotcha. I gotcha.
That's like one of the misconceptions because his name is on the title.
That's still a lot of people. You got 2 writers, 2 artists. Get this book out. Now, I'm not disrespecting you, Mr. Eastman, because I'm one of your biggest fans, one of your biggest stands. Okay, this book is beautiful. I want it to grow into something even more. I want to see live action. I want to see action figures. I want to see sequel comic books. I want to see all that. Sign me up. This is a beautiful comic book. And this is just really just...
Here's my one issue with them talking about prequels and sequels. So if they're going to do a sequel, that's almost indicating that Mikey's going to live through this. I assumed at the end he dies. Finally finishing off Shredder's grandson who killed his brothers.
You're right.
I thought that would be the fitting end. But if they're going to do sequels, obviously Mikey lives. Are
they
giving away a spoiler?
Every samurai story does end that way, where the samurai does his mission.
Yeah, and then have your honorable death.
And then he kills himself. But it can be sequels. There's no telling who they're going to introduce us to next. Or Mikey could survive. You don't know.
I said that too. I said that April was going to be the last samurai.
You don't never know.
Maybe it'll be April O'Neil with a turtle shell taking up the cause.
If that's the case, I don't want to deal with it then.
Are you scared of a strong female character taking up the mantle of the TMNT Turtles?
I know what you was really thinking, and no, but this is the thing. I didn't buy a Ninja Turtle comic book to see April fighting. I mean, that's cool. She would be with the Turtles fighting, but I don't want to see her by herself. No,
you just want to see her as a damsel in distress, sir, because you are a misogynist and a pig. Why are you here?
Well, sometimes I can be. I keep that label.
I'm kidding. I don't think any of those things. Nobody wants to see April O'Neil fight. She's a reporter. Who gives a shit?
Exactly. I'd rather see a Last Ronin with Casey Jones. If that's the case, April doesn't fight. He's dead.
He got to find out he died.
I think he is dead, but we don't know.
One girl, though, I think you were right. I do believe the one girl that finds Mikey as he's dying and he's not able to off himself. I think that is Casey Jones' daughter or granddaughter, and that's how she recognized him.
It could be April's daughter too, because
her last name's. Well, I guess they could have been together.
See,
April O'Neil really seemed like the type of woman that would let her daughter take the father's name, though. She's very independent.
Maybe she's respectful. I don't know. Maybe,
Perhaps.
Yeah,
it's not the April O'Neil I know.
I definitely would want to see a prequel of what happened.
Those are the ones I'm more excited about. I want to go back 12, maybe 10 years in the past, and I want to see what happened. What were they doing that was so important? How did they track him down? How did they finally off his brothers?
Yeah. I even want to see what happened to Shredder and Crane and all them joints. I want to see what happened to them. Did they just die out, or did they, die fighting the other turtles?
Did his brothers pass on, saving Mikey and saving the youngest turtle brother and getting him out of harm's way so one of them could live?
I want to see
I
that.
bet you Raphael did, because he's my favorite turtle, and that's in his nature, even though he's a bit of a curmudgeon like yours truly.
Do you think that this franchise right here, well, I say franchise, but do you think this coming with the Last Ronin that will turn into anything else? Like besides
comic that's what they're talking about. They said it's going to be its own universe.
But what I mean is, do you think it's going to turn into like a movie or a live action movie or an animated movie? What do you think? Do you think this could be so popular?
Nickelodeon kind of has their own kids branding with TMNT. That's why they bought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This certainly does not fall within their TMNT brand. So to make it animated could cause some confusion. I could understand they wouldn't want an R-rated TMNT like animated movie even out there. So I don't know. That could get confusing. I think they're leaving money on the table if they don't. I mean, people would eat this up. I mean, just look at the demand for the comic book.
What's a step level from rated R though? Is it M, mature or something?
So you go up from rated R, it's rated X, right? And then it's triple X.
That's
Then
poor.
from R, it's PG-13, PG, and then G, right?
Okay, so I thought PG-13. That's for 13 on up, right?
Yes.
Make this a PG-13 movie.
Does that even go with their Nickelodeon brand, though?
I think it could. I think it could.
I mean, do they want a TMNT animated anything with blood in it? People dying.
The adults do.
Well, of course.
You got to think.
Nickelodeon bought it for the kids' brand so they could.
But watch this. The Turtles came out in the 80s. Everybody who experienced that back then are grown people now. The people that still love the Turtles way back then, give us that bloody, violent Turtles. When you watch the first Ninja Turtles movies, that was a PG-13 movie, if not rated R, because Raphael was cussing and kids was smoking cigarettes.
There's no way the first TMNT movie was rated R. I went and saw it when I was a kid.
But what I'm saying is, in today's standard, yes, it would be. They were.
Are you saying that they were turtle boobs or something? Did we get some turtle moose knuckle that I didn't know about?
Did you forget that Raphael cussed on when he slid across that taxi? Did you forget the point that kids?
One word. That's PG-13.
Did you forget the kids was going around robbing people and smoking cigarettes? You had kids smoking cigarettes in a kid cartoon movie.
They wouldn't do that again. Not even Wolverine can smoke anymore. I'll give you that one. You think that they're gonna make it like a rated R for kids smoking is like a warning?
That's a shame, man. What happened to
probably would. This whole country is full of wussies now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that.
If they wouldn't be able to handle the original Mirage TMNT Turtles.
But you know, it was a little cartoon that came out where they put them in there. They were like black and white. They kind of gave homage to them. I've never seen it as much as a big Turtle fan I am, but I think they should go there. I'm telling you, if they drop the action figure of Michelangelo, I'm buying it, and it's going to be right here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. There's a reason I think the comic books would be successful. And I think if they made the animated movie, I think it would make a lot of money. But I don't know if Nickelodeon, they bought it. And the kids' branding.
And you don't have to kind of like what DC do. DC has animated movies that's for adults, where you see sets.
Yeah, but Warner Brothers' brand isn't kids. Nickelodeon's brand is kids. That's the difference. But Perch and I just talked about it the other day on the channel. It's the gentrification of geek culture, where these big corporations come in and they buy up the brands, and then they turn them into crappy, like generic versions of all the stuff that we like. You take the blood and anything cool out of TMNT. You go over to a Marvel comic. You can't even have Logan smoking a cigar anymore. All the DC characters are as generic as everything.
Well, I got a better word for that. It's called Disney ties. You Disney ties it, Because I don't know.
Of America. What do you want to call it? We call it gentrification of geek culture.
I watched a war movie by Disney, Mulan. Biggest piece of crap.
Really stupid.
Oh my God. Biggest piece of crap I've ever experienced in my life. Didn't see no blood, but I saw swords and battles.
That stuff happens. I mean, it looked like they had the fight choreographer from the original Charlie's Angels movie with Drew Barrymore. Like Mulan was like kicking arrows out of the air and stuff.
You had enemies running up the wall like they were Spider-Man, sir.
Man. What was that Matt Damon movie? The Wall.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
Sad stuff.
It's too bad because the cartoon was pretty dope.
The cartoon was good.
I will say just stuck to that.
I will sing the song right now, but this is not the time and the place for that.
It's not the time or the place to ever sing on my channel.
What do you think we're going to experience for issue 2?
Well, I think that we're going to find out that April O'Neil might have been directly responsible for the deaths of Donatello, Leonardo, and Raphael. And this is the
Wow.
first time that she and Michelangelo have come face to face. Obviously, he's too weak to do anything about it, but he might try to kill her.
So do you got that same vibe as me that he was pissed off to see her?
I'm hoping that's what it was.
It's gonna be some good stuff.
And I think we'll probably learn that the identity of the girl was in fact Casey Jones' daughter or granddaughter. I imagine it's his daughter.
Okay, now let's see. I'm a turtle fan, but it was a turtle back in the day. He was a villain, and he used to rock the black bandana like Michelangelo is wearing now. Do you remember his name?
Metalhead.
What? No, Metalhead is the robot. It was
he looks like a turtle.
I'm not talking about him. It was an actual turtle. And I know somebody in the comments gonna get it.
Man, Mark Pellegrini is gonna have my ass for this. I'm sorry, Fatal.
I know mine too, because I'm a big turtle fan, man. But it's a turtle out there. He looked nasty looking. And like his shade of green is way different from the other turtle.
Is he Tokar or Razor?
Man, no, that's from the freaking movie. I'm not talking about them. It's like in the cartoon, the actual animated cartoon from the 90s, where he had a black bandana. And I always wondered, did people keep that in the back of their mind that villain, why is Michelangelo? I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about that all day.
Like a chump on my own channel.
Well, people,
this cartoon I watched 30-something years ago.
Well, this is the thing, Wes. We love you, but we always thought you was a chump. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You can think whatever you want. I don't like confirming that shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, but I'm super excited. I think, rated R sequels and prequels, I'm most interested in the prequel stuff.
I am too.
I'm assuming Michelangelo's dead at the end of this, and I don't want to see, April O'Neil's The Last Ronin movie.
So do you think
The Last Ronin will be Casey Jones' daughter?
So do you think we'll get an issue 0, or will they take that prequel plot and turn that into a series itself?
Absolutely. They made so much. 180,000 issues shipped just of issue number 1 at like $9 a piece. That's a huge success. This is probably the biggest success IDW Comics has had in a lot of years. It's a long, long time.
I'm telling
you, when they relaunched TMNT to begin with.
I'm telling you, they already have my money. Like,
oh yeah, they got a lot of people's money because it wasn't just something that was anticipated; it actually delivered. It was better. The quality ended up being better than I expected.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Because I remember when we first covered this, and it was another artist. The art was but then when you showed me the new art, I was like, sign me the freak up. This looks great.
Yeah, the Scorsese brothers absolutely brought it, but I like the vibe. It's like the Dark Knight Returns, but in the Blade Runner universe with the Escape from New York like opening. Like, that's cool.
It mashes a lot of things together, but it's also its own story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's its own thing, but you can see it ties heavily into other things in pop culture, just like the very first issue of TMNT did.
Yes, it
did. Makes sense. It's on brand.
Yep.
But I'm personally really excited. I don't know, which character are you most interested in finding out, like, their ultimate fate?
Oh, that's a good question. If I had to pick,
probably Baxter Stockman. I could see you relating to that character.
No, truth be told, I wanted to know what happened to Shredder or Splinter. I want to know what happened to Shredder or Splinter. Because they both the best fighters. Like, if Splinter had to fight
what
his
if they
own
went
songs,
like Superman and Darkseid, where they beat each other to death?
That would be a good one, because like I said, Shredder and Splinter, they're more skillful than the actual turtles themselves. So I want to see what took them out. How did they die?
Oh, yeah. I remember the Leonardo micro series in IDW when he finally meets Shredder for the first time.
Yeah.
He almost like murders him on the top of the rooftop.
I could remember in the 90s cartoon, Splinter had dressed up like a ninja. They didn't know it was Splinter, and he was beating their ass through the whole episode. And then at the very end, he took off the mask and said, "Did you learn your lessons, my sons?"
Perfect.
He wiped the floor with them. I'm gonna have to find that episode and watch it, man. That was a good episode.
You need to find the episode with the dude with the black mask and figure out what his name was. And stop
Watch
making me
it.
look bad on the channel.
As soon as we over with this stream, I'm going to show
That's the way
you.
it always works.
I'm gonna remember.
Me personally, I think the three brothers died ensuring Michelangelo could live and saving their little brother. And that's what I want confirmed because it just feels right for the church. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be Michelangelo ran like a little bi, and the other turtles got killed. Watch what I tell you. That's gonna be it.
You're so lucky. We're not in the same studio right now.
You know Michelangelo was the coward out of all the turtles.
I would be laying hands, sir. You take that back.
Look, man, while everybody is fighting, Michelangelo somewhere with some sausages acting like they nunchucks.
Man, he's a fun-loving, surfer dude that loves pizza. But in the end, he is one of the brothers. He is a ninja, and he would have been on the front line. If anyone would be a coward and walk out, it would be Donatello.
Man, heck no. Donatello would have built something that would kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. He would have left and tried to build a machine.
He would have built a machine gun or something.
And shot him with pizzas.
The same as Michelangelo fighting people with sausages. It will be on the same level, trust me.
Absolutely, bud. All right, man. I'm excited for the prequel sequel talk. I hope they do more in this universe. I hope that it ends up being its own little corner, like adult corner of the TMNT world, where they do some stuff that's more like influenced by Mirage and obviously influenced by the cartoon and stuff, which obviously has kind of taken over the TMNT brand for such a long time. A lot of people don't even remember the original TMNT, but all right, Fatal J, is there anything else you needed to say before we wrap this conversation up?
I sure do. IDW, Nickelodeon. If you cut this short, you're going to lose my money. You have my money right now. Expand on this Last Ronin universe. Turn this into a dark animated show. I know it probably won't go as far as a live action, but give us an animated show. Give us more comic books with the Last Ronin. You got my money, so don't mess this up.
Absolutely. All right, folks, I do want to say this. If you enjoy Fatal J, he has his own YouTube channel. There is a link in the video description. I highly suggest you go subscribe there. He doesn't have great content like you have here, and he likes the Snyderverse, but everything else is actually pretty decent.
Bye-bye.